Hello, it is Thursday, September 5th. We're just a few days from September 8th, which this year would be the 102nd birthday of the brilliant American economist, philosopher, and former presidential candidate Lyndon LaRouche. And given that we are in a period of intense disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation, not from the people who are being censored and detained and shut down, but from our very own intelligence agencies, allegedly elected representatives, and official news media, which is run by these so-called intelligence agencies. I wanted to share something with you from Mr. LaRouche, which is in a document about democracy when he was running for president the first time in 1976. And I think you'll agree with me, this is really quite something. He was calling for a director of political intelligence, a Department of Political Intelligence. What was the purpose? He said the object is to end the arrangement under which most citizens lack the means to do more than contemplate and perhaps protest against proposed national policies from, so to speak, the underside. The task of a democratic government is to foster in the general electorate the competence to formulate policy. Exactly right. And I'm just putting in here in the chat the news service of LaRouche, which I would recommend that everybody subscribe to. Now, here is what he goes on to say. Never again, to the extent that I have the power to effect such a change, shall the people of the United States and the world, oops, I did that wrong. Let me do this again. No multitasking, right? EIR.news with an S, EIR.news. There we go. Never again, to the extent that I have the power to effect a change, shall the people of the United States and the world be trapped in a mess of misinformation and ignorance on vital issues such as that to which they are still being subjected through the lies and ignorance of both government agencies and major news media. Never again must the situation develop in which the human species is threatened with imminent catastrophes, like thermonuclear war, but in which the average citizen and even federal elected officials of the USA are essentially ignorant of the nature of the danger as well as the alternatives available to avoid such menace. Well, isn't that exactly where we are today? How many Americans are aware that the Biden administration has changed its nuclear doctrine, that we are moving toward preemptive nuclear war, that the Biden administration, whatever that is, it's the American wing of the British imperial system of King Charles's empire, of which NATO is the enforcer, has to deliver a defeat of Russia before November 3rd. The problem is that Russia is not going to lose. It's already defeated Ukraine militarily. And as Ray McGovern, one of the founders of the Veteran Intelligence Professionals for Sanity, warned, if it is clear that Russia has secured a military defeat of Ukraine before November 5th, will someone in the United States have the brilliant idea of using a quote unquote tactical, a miniature nuclear weapon, a little nuclear weapon that won't have that much effect, and then we will force Russia back into a compromised position and they'll overthrow Putin and the world will be fine. Now, that is nearly the exact narrative that was in a March, I believe it was March 17th, 2007, London Economist fantasy piece where they wanted Barack Obama to threaten Russia with nuclear weapons. Unfortunately, we have extremely dangerous and deluded individuals running the United States policy at this moment, running our military policy. And I am wondering if there are adults in a position who would prevent this. Obviously, this is something the American people need to know. But when you have the former head of the CIA, John Brennan, running effectively MSNBC, I think that tells you everything you need to know about the wartime propaganda that we are operating under. So I would like to second Mr. LaRouche's proposal of 1976 that the American people have a right to be informed to such a degree, truthfully, that they themselves are in a position to begin to formulate policy, that the American voters have a right to know what's happening in the world so that they can consider what policies would be best for their interest and those of future generations. That's my thought for today. And as we approach Mr. LaRouche's birthday on September 8th, I will be sharing more of his writings and videos on this location.